419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management.
Woo, that scared me.
You all right?
Yeah.
That's a way to start.
It is. Yep.
I mean, if you did not know you
Shotgun
were
start.
listening or watching the show, you know now.
That's right. Brought to you by seasonal allergies.
I'm Kevin Mullen alongside.
Gretchen DeBacker.
And I'm Matt Killam.
And by kill 'em, you mean
That's right.
with kindness.
Thank you.
I was going to say also with seasonal allergies.
Sure.
It's a surprise guest.
My surprise guest. Very excited.
All right.
I've already seen them sneak in.
You saw who it was?
I could not identify them.
I can identify them by their purse sitting over there. Hint, it's a woman.
That didn't solve that for me fully yet. There's a
Okay.
possibility it could have been a
That's
purse.
true. That's true.
The man purse.
A man's carry-all. Yep.
Carry on.
Yeah, that could happen. Hey, did you guys see in the news, U.S. Open is coming
Very
to
exciting.
Toledo, 2045. So this is maybe the furthest out and maybe the most excited I've seen for someone for an announcement that is so far away.
I saw the mayor posted it that he was in New York. He went and traveled to hear the announcement. And I always look at the social media stuff, and there were something like 400 shares of his post. It went crazy. People are so excited.
It is a legitimately a very big deal.
Absolutely.
But it is a very long time away.
Very long time away.
And in a world where we're becoming increasingly like instant gratification, to say like, hey, you're gonna wait.
I was holding that sneeze for 30 minutes.
There you go.
Isn't it possible that someone not born yet would be competing in that?
Yes.
That's
an interesting thing to say.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess you could have a 19-year-old that's competing in the U.S. Open.
Look at me saying something interesting.
How old are you going to be?
Dead.
Okay. Yeah, zero.
Yeah.
I would be 75 years old.
Okay.
So probably won't be going.
Yeah. Well, there's a seniors tour.
True.
But there
And
are
probably
some,
a discounted price for you.
Yeah,
right.
that's true. How old will you be?
All right, so 63.
Okay. Matt?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, how old am I now?
Uh-huh.
Which is what?
Add 20 years,
Okay.
and then subtract 1.
One.
That's how I get there.
Still don't have it.
That drives my daughter crazy when I try and do math that way, and I'm like, oh, well, the 19 is close to 20.
My mom does that with percentage offs, like when you're somewhere and you're like, this is 25% off in social or whatever. And then she'll just do it's 20 and then just add like
Yeah, I do
another
that too.
dollars
Yeah, sure.
or something.
No, so it's either 10%,
Yeah.
so you just move the decimal point,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
cut that in half. That
Now,
gives
what's a
you your
decimal
5.
point?
Well, that's a whole different story. All right, so it's your surprise guest.
Yes, it's my
Let's get
surprise
to some
guest.
real.
They have a purse.
I don't
It's
know
a
that people
woman.
tune into this for math lessons.
No, they don't, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because we would not have anything to teach them.
Oh, I could do that.
This
about third grade.
person is a woman.
Okay.
She is in her own right I believe, a very well-known, very well-respected Toledoan, but her family is also sort of an iconic Toledo family. I've asked her to come on the show multiple times. I'm so happy that today it has worked out. Do you want more hints?
Nope.
I would like some actual hints.
She
possible?
deals with money, and she will be very good at math.
Okay.
I know who it is.
And at one point, she identified Chris Peterson and Mark Folk as the two Toledoans she admired the most. So we're not going to take offense to that today.
Well, it's, you know what? Maybe she just hasn't met us and gotten to know us well enough yet.
No, I think she
She
has.
knows me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know who it is.
Okay. We'll
She's
find
gonna have
out.
trouble getting in this chair.
We'll find out when we come back.
Yeah.
All right. On the other side of the break on the 419.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419, a mystery guest edition where it's Gretchen's surprise guest today, and she dropped a couple of hints that I think Matt had it figured out. I had a pretty good idea, and it turns out all of us were right.
Yes.
So welcome to the show, Rita.
Thank you.
Mansour, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Welcome on the show.
Thank
I've
you.
asked you how many times? 4?
I was stop counting.
Yes,
I just run out of excuses.
And she almost had me here yesterday.
I did. I sent her a reminder and said yesterday.
Well, that's not right. That's not how we do this.
And then she's like, isn't it Thursday? I mean, whatever day. And I was like, yep.
Gretchen
You're
comes
right.
here every day not knowing the calendar. And if no one shows up, she just goes home.
So Gretchen in her intro said, obviously, well known in your own right, but family, well known as well. If somebody is not familiar with the family, how would they know you guys?
And list your favorite from top to bottom.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I can list them for you.
Yeah.
No. How would they know my family? Probably my parents. I think, my parents are immigrants. They made roots in Toledo. And, of every place they could have gone in this country, they came here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because they're proud of the community and what it has to offer, and they wanted to raise a family here. They wanted to be part of a community, I think, where we could assimilate but also have our cultural roots intact.
Celebrating the duality of your heritage and also being American, how did the house work in that capacity? Other than your fabulous sister who's part French.
Oh, well, she's a naturalized citizen. I think it worked well. That my parents definitely wanted us to be proud Americans, and we all are. My dad will tell you we are American by chance. Chance, and he's American by choice. God bless him. He's 97 years old and taught us a lot of life lessons. We're very fortunate. But I think, we took advantage of every opportunity here in the United States, and I think, that's somewhat, I think, a gift and blessing to us that other Americans don't necessarily recognize.
Absolutely.
Your dad was a physician when he came to the United States, or did he go to medical school here in the United States?
No, he did his undergrad here. He volunteered to be part of the Korean War. So as part of the GI Bill, he was able to get his medical school paid for. He started in Paris at the Sorbonne, and then all of a sudden the United States said, you can't go there, you can go to Brussels. So, my dad actually taught himself French to go to medical school.
Oh my
and then
God.
wanted to come back to the United States. Yeah. He was a busboy in the DC area.
Now I have a relatable. Now I actually do share something with your dad.
'Cause you
I
were
was
a bus-
also a busboy.
Right?
Yeah. Our paths are just.
Did a senator call you to his office?
I
No,
don't know.
this is the best story. So you have to tell this story about your dad. So he's working as a busboy in a restaurant in D.C.
Yeah, and some guy leaves a big tip, and my dad thought it was a mistake. Like, the guy forgot his money, so he ran after him, and it turns out he was a senator. Not a nice guy, so let's just leave that out.
Right.
But he did help my dad. So he said to my dad, "No, son, that is a tip. What are you doing here?" My dad explained, and then he said, "Why don't you come and see me in my office?" And he explained to him what the GI Bill was, and so my dad signed up and served in the Korean War.
How about that?
We're talking with Rita Mansour, Gretchen's surprise guest. I see you everywhere. I feel like any community event, you are there. UT basketball games, you are there. I don't really know anything else about you other than anywhere I look. Anytime I'm in a room that I want to be in, you're in the room first. But tell me,
Trying to block you from
what
coming
is
in.
what does a 9 to 5 look like for you? How would we talk about how people may know your family, but how would people know you? You're too modest to answer some of these questions, I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Yes, right. I am proud of my community. I feel it's important to participate, give back, so I'm involved in the community. I have my own wealth management practice as part of a greater company, McDonald Partners. We're based out of Cleveland. We started that company 20 years ago, so we also, as a company, try to contribute in any way we can. I don't know. I grew up, I've been here all my life.
Yes.
The community portion of it, also installed by your folks, volunteering, part of your faith. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like you have a 9-to-5 job, but then there's a community that you're in service to.
Well, I don't know if it's 9 to 5.
Yes.
That would be
I'm sorry
nice.
for calling.
Yeah, that would that'd be a part-time job for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I think I kind of learned about giving back through my mom. I remember being a child, watching my mom go door to door collecting for Easter seals of March
gosh, sure.
times, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, I'm like, hey, Mom, they're doing this thing called UNICEF. Remember those orange boxes?
Little
Yes.
boxes. Yeah, sure.
I want to do that. She said, okay, let's do that. And I don't know, I got that feeling that she must have gotten.
Plus, you had to pay for your sister's furs.
Yes, of course.
That's right. Those don't pay for themselves.
Yes, right.
What are some of the organizations that you spend the most time with?
Well, these days, the Toledo Museum of Art, the Arts Commission, the Greater Toledo Community Foundation, the Ohio Arts Council, and just wherever I can help out.
There's a theme here. So talk to me about arts and culture to you.
I like them.
Yes. Next question.
Yeah.
But
Again, you're being very modest. I don't know why you're doing this, because you have
I don't know why I'm doing this
much
either.
to say about the arts organizations. You serve on the board of the Toledo Museum of Art, Board of Trustees. You serve on the board of the Toledo Community Foundation. And you're, I think, an emerita member of the Arts Commission, which means basically you're a member for the rest of your life. We won't let you leave ever for the Arts Commission. But your commitment and your dedication to those organizations goes well beyond just trying to help out wherever we can, Rita.
Why am I being admonished?
But
You guys all match.
why
You're
do
right.
you? Hey, we didn't plan it.
And I participated too.
yeah.
If anyone who's ever been lucky enough to be invited into your home or to your office also
You
knows
live in town? Son of a.
that you have an impeccable art collection. That you have local artists, you have regional artists, national artists displayed beautifully in your home and in your office. Why are those spaces so important to you to show that artwork?
Well, first, you might, I don't know that I call it a collection. Especially because you gave me half of it, right?
That's right. When I
Your
made
little
half of it.
scribbles.
Yeah. There's some right here. I don't want you to walk out without one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I feel like art helps people calm down. I mean,
Yes.
there are studies that show for people's mental health that art does help the soul. I think I like things that are aesthetically pleasing, typically.
That's why we're friends.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. I'm very calming.
All of the above.
Yeah.
And I like color.
Yeah.
I think color makes me feel good, although I would
Even though
wear
you're wearing black today, that's
yeah,
fine.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
Black is a color.
it is a color,
Is it?
sort of.
Guys, don't fight on the show.
Okay. Talk about it later.
What are you excited about serving as a member of the Toledo Museum of Art Board, about all the stuff that's going on, about the reaccession of everything? It must be an exciting time to be a member of the board
It's
there.
very exciting. I think Adam Levine is a tremendous leader. I mean, you've had him on the show. He's very innovative. I'm encouraged by his innovation, not just here locally, but on the international front.
right.
We
Absolutely.
are getting so much attention, which is great because it provides opportunities for us to do things that we may not have had opportunities to do. The reinstallation of the museum is going to be tremendous, although it is disruptive.
It's brave to do that, though.
It's very brave, but the board supported him. I mean,
Sure.
there was no real pushback.
Yeah.
So I think that says a lot for his leadership.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And the museum is free.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing.
how many museums are free? And so that means anybody should come in and feel welcome to come in.
I mean, you for a living manage finances and advise people on making good financial decisions. that would not be described as a good financial decision, is to have a world-class museum and you don't charge people to get in.
Well, unless you can cover it, right? And so the community here is very generous, and right now we're in the middle of raising some funds quietly.
Don't tell anyone.
But if you have any, let me know. And so I think that allows, so when you have an endowment that's pretty healthy, it allows people to come in for free.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot for the community. It goes back to where we live.
Do you have an aha moment for art? Did you grow up? Did you paint? Were there art classes that you took?
Yeah, do you ever make?
So one of the things that I hated about the museum was when I was little, we lived in Old Orchard, and the bus used to go down the street, right across the street from our house. So on Saturdays, my mom would have me go out. I was the only one, I think, that did it.
Yeah.
Go out, get on the bus. I was the middle child, so she had to occupy me.
Yeah.
And I would go down to the museum, and I hated it because I am not good at art.
Aw.
Yeah, and I watched these people create beautiful things, but
Yeah.
You come home with something, and what would your mom say? You're going again next week?
This is very beautiful.
Your sister needs more snacks. Go get it for her.
Both sisters.
When did that flip, though, from you going to the museum and hating that visit to now saying, I'm going to give of time, talent, and treasure to serve this institution?
So ironically, I do remember it. I was at, we used to do that glass event. I wish I could remember it. Don't tell Mark.
The hot glass.
Hot glass.
Yes.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Sure.
You're younger.
Yes.
And there was this glass, that I wanted, and I was young, in my 30s.
Sure.
We're
just gonna let that sit.
And grow.
Go on, man.
And I was digging deep in my pocket. I'm like, how am I going to afford this?
Yeah.
And I bid on it, and I got it, and I still have it. It didn't break. I was worried that Sue Haig-Rogers was going to break.
Which is terrifying anytime, right?
I'm going to need everyone
She
to
designed
acknowledge.
our whole set. We're turning around, for people that are listening, we're turning around and looking at a picture of Sue Haig-Rogers that's on our bookshelf. She designed our set for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I remember that was the moment, and I got it, and then I'm like, oh, and I have to pay for this.
Yeah.
But
But
that was my aha moment.
worth
So
it.
the bus was taking you to school. Where did you go to school?
Old Orchard. Oh, no, the bus didn't take me to school.
But I mean,
I
you,
walked to
Museum,
school.
yeah.
you were in Old Orchard Owl, as was I.
Yes.
Yes. And then where'd you go? Where was your education's path?
Notre Dame Academy.
Notre Dame Academy.
Yes.
And all three girls went there.
No,
Where did they go?
DeVilbiss.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
Well,
you're
you
also the
can't
only
tell
one that went to Notre
The
Dame?
pedigree difference.
I can. It now all makes sense.
Which one of you was the snobby one?
Yeah.
I'm sort of missing this.
Gretchen.
It wasn't the French one?
Yeah, that's right.
Kevin, be nice. I sit behind you.
Oh, I know.
It's so interesting to me. Matt has asked some other guests this question, but people that have, and I think you're one of these people that have both sides of your brain developed, if you will, because you deal with math and figures and money and planning during the day, and yet you have this flair, if you will, for art, color, design, and all of those things. And there's not that many people that have both things at the same time.
Well, that's a huge compliment. So
It's coming from Gretchen, so it does cheapen it a bit.
no, that's not true.
Not true.
She's very sweet.
Yes.
I think it's an outlet.
Yeah.
I do. So, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the Metro Parks too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And the library.
Every time anyone says anything other than Metro Parks, we just edit it out and put Metro Parks in with my voice. So
there you go.
don't fret.
It's
It
like
says
the
Metro Parks.
like the late night TV shows on Super Bowl Sunday,
Yeah.
right? When it's like, hey, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. We just dub in whatever
Yeah.
you say. We just dub
Exactly.
in Metro Parks over top of that.
As you walk through Toledo and you're sort of blazing your own path, your family, your faith, always a part of it. What were some of those steps? Notre Dame Academy was it a joyous experience? Made a lot of friends. Stuck with your
Oh,
religion,
yeah.
obviously. Again, what's the duality of that?
Well, I think it provided insight to me that, in my opinion, all religions are the same. That's what I learned because I had to take religion class
You're right.
as a class.
Yeah.
So most people that went there, like Gretchen, probably were just snoozing. She's
Right.
like, I know this. But I actually had to take the test and pass it. And so in doing so, I recognize that it's all the same.
I had the exact same experience. I went from DeVoe to Central,
Okay.
and we had to take religion, and almost everyone else in our class was getting like over 100%, and I had to study,
Right.
which I didn't. But they were like, "Yeah, man, we've been learning this since we were like 6 years old."
Yeah, where were you?
And I was like, "Well, this isn't new." This is
Who were some of the teachers that you had that you still, have fond memories of? We'll stay on that side of the line.
Okay, well, first I would start with who was the principal and president, Sister Carol. Everybody
Yep,
knows her. She's a rock star.
Yep.
Sister Dolores was one of my teachers. She was excellent. She actually was my religion teacher.
What years were you there?
Seriously.
Sorry.
We don't ask these questions, Gretchen.
I graduated in 88, so you were there before that.
Before you.
We weren't there at the same time.
I graduated in 1983.
Okay, well, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll still make it to the U.S. Open, probably.
No,
Yeah.
I already did the math. I will be 81. Oh, geez, I just
Yeah.
gave it up.
That's right. No one listens to the
No,
show.
we can't do math.
Also, no one
Yeah.
can do that other
Yeah.
math, so no one knows how to do it. Yeah, you're fine.
And then you went on from Notre Dame, you went on to the University of Toledo,
Yes.
and you have your degree in what?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, no, business,
Yeah.
marketing and finance. Although I spent 3 years in pre-med.
Did your dad, I was just going to ask you, did your dad want any of you guys to become doctors?
All of you.
I made a mistake in the 5th or 6th grade and said I wanted to be a doctor
Mistake.
because my sister Linda's a lawyer, and I was like, okay, what else is hard? Okay,
Yeah.
I want to be the doctor.
Yeah.
What else is hard and better than Linda?
Not better, just hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because we're, again, immigrant families, doctors, lawyers, engineers,
Engineers, sure.
that's it. That's your ticket.
Yeah.
And so I spent 3 years, I followed my dad around. I went with him to his rounds and all this. I worked in his office. He overpaid me, but don't tell him.
No.
I think what changed my mind, oh, you didn't ask me that. But
No, yeah, what did?
a couple things. One, I went to this autopsy.
Yeah.
And it was fine. They had the guy's guts out, his heart, this, that. They were putting it all back in, and then they peeled the skin to his face to put back. And
Yeah,
I was-
couldn't do it.
And then I also was sitting in organic chemistry lab, and at some point I just had this flashback of my mom and my lemonade stand. That I tell people this all the time, and I thought she made all this money at the lemonade stand, and I think it was like 8 or 9
Yeah.
or something, and I ran in the house and said, Mom, look at all this money I made. And she said, that's not all your money. And I said, what do you mean? And in her accent, she said, Mama, this is not all your money. You have to pay for the lemonade, for the cups. This is called profit. And that's when I was like, oh. And I was fascinated by that. And it came back to me. And I thought, you know what, I
You're
really
like, I think I'd like to make more profit.
Yeah. Tell me more about this profit.
That's
please.
so interesting.
Yeah. And so my dad was
When did you
not
cut
a
your
fan.
mom out of the business? Immediately.
No, my mom
Never.
was chairman of the board.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So what happened when you told your dad that you were going to change over?
Well, I was fiscally responsible, so I immediately dropped all my classes
Immediately.
because I didn't want them to lose the money, but I didn't think it through, and I lived at home. So I got home, and my brothers were sitting at the table. My sisters were long gone, and they were just looking at me sneering in a way, and I thought, what the heck's going on? And then the check was in my plate for dinner, and my dad said, do you want to explain what's going on? I'm like, oh my God.
They already know.
I don't want to be a doctor. Why don't you want to be a doctor? I want to be in business. What are you going to do in business? And
Lemonade.
I think actually that would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We're talking with
amazing.
Rita, Mansour, Gretchen's surprise guest. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk more about that journey from lemonade stand to where we are today, and kind of how you went from Bancroft to Monroe Street, the Art Museum, and all the other great things you're doing. So we'll do that on the other side of the break here on the 419.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a t-shirt crime doesn't pay in the old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story. It's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419 powered by WGTE. With Matt Killam, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour, a reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. We're talking to Rita Mansour, Gretchen's surprise guest.
Yep.
You were telling the story before the break about kind of that conversation with family about I want to go into business, and Dad didn't fully understand. What are you going to do in business? What was that journey for you to go from, you know, that dining room table conversation to, you know, McDonald Partners where you are today?
To be honest, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew, I pretended, you know, fake it till you make it. That's not a good thing to do. I don't
Look at these three faces. We totally get it.
But I figured it out over time. I was like, okay, you get the degree. I knew I was probably going to be in finance somewhere.
Yeah.
And actually, my dad said, you're going to be an accountant. And I said, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Is that because that you, at the risk of making you feel very uncomfortable with the amount of flattery you've already received, which you're handling well, is that because the relationship portion of it is so important to you? You don't handle my vast wealth because it's difficult.
As far as you know.
It's difficult for me to get it out of the card my grandmother gave me. But, you know, I have always been drawn to you. I believe us to have a real friendship, and you're a caretaker. There's a natural comfort I felt with you right away. Is that part of the thing that an accountant, you're like, no, thank you. I don't want to just do spreadsheets. I want to talk to the people.
I wish I was that altruistic.
Sure.
I think I wanted to make a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, that's also beneficial and well-paying.
But the reason is I wanted to be able to control my own destiny.
Yeah.
I did want to help people. So it is kind of like I concluded at the end. I want to help people. I don't want to punch the clock 9 to 5. I want to be able to give back and have a little bit more control over my destiny. Oh, I think I could do this. I want to be a financial advisor. And so therefore I pursued that and was able to get a job in it, and here I am.
Obviously, this is based on the personal nature of your work. I'm not asking for any specificity in this, but was there an aha moment that you're like, okay, this is working, I'm doing it?
Again, the moment I started to interview for it.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I was like, this feels like my vibe.
This feels right.
I want to kill this.
Yeah, good for you.
How long were you doing it before you had your own agency? Or firm, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, not an agency.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Let me think about this.
I'm going to now respond to Gretchen with everything with that. They're like, it's okay, you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know how lawyers are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I do.
Anything she gets wrong, even stuff she gets right.
But she does it like
if you
with
say
authority.
it emphatically,
yeah, I know.
No
right?
one knows.
Let's see. I worked. I'm going to age myself for very large firms. So I started with Shearson Lehman Hutton.
Yeah.
You remember that name?
Yeah, of course, sure.
When E.F. Hutton speaks, what happens?
Yeah.
You
People
listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys win.
Yeah.
He's too young.
I got nothing.
Yeah, no, that's the age
Well,
divide.
he's also
toddler.
the product of lawyers.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and the television.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I remember the commercial.
Yeah.
So
So anyway,
my parents loved me and read to me. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure. Yeah.
I don't know what that's like.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Weird.
No, so I started at large firms, and so I would say probably 15 years with large firms, and then, or maybe a little bit less. And then we started the McDonald Partners firm 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we've already talked a bit about immigration and your upbringing. Do you want to talk a little bit about some other challenges you've overcome, not being tall enough to ride rides, not weighing enough to give blood, not being able to get in and out of this chair by yourself? Being an adult of your diminutive nature and size, how do you get through the day?
Is that why you like the women's basketball team?
That's right.
All right, you're gonna pick on me too.
No, I'm not. I'm changing the subject because I'm going to say.
We can talk about women's
Yeah, we
basketball.
can.
I mean, you sit directly behind me at the UT women's games.
Throw things at him?
No.
Okay.
I pat him on the shoulder.
What was your introduction to women's basketball? Have you always been a fan, or was it, was it Trisha Cullipage?
Yeah, Gretchen was part of it. Trisha had asked some of us to be mentors. She was a mentor way ahead of me because she's a trailblazer.
Right.
But like me, one of the basketball players was in pre-med and shifted to business. And so
It's a natural guidance there.
Yeah. So I really enjoy that piece of it because I think I get back more than I give.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy basketball. I played it in grade school.
Same.
And in high school at the intramurals.
Yeah.
And I was scrappy.
Get out
I
of
could see that.
town.
You were a guard, probably.
Yeah. Point guard, yeah.
Point
guard. Yeah, sure.
But I enjoy it, and actually, I want to make sure women are also represented there as well. And I feel like they should be paid equally.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't just feel it; they should be
They
paid.
should be, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, that's part of my reason to participate, and I'm a Toledo girl.
Yeah.
Who are the players that you've mentored?
Sophia Weird. Wired, I'm sorry.
Yep.
And then Nan Garcia, I was
Nan is my favorite. Yep.
informal. Now I have Ella Weaver, The Weave.
The Weave, right?
Yeah. Just great gals.
One of my the time period that I was able to get to know you was when we had lunch or something. Or no, I had lunch with Chris Peterson.
Again.
And one of your favorite Toledoans, which is fine. But she was leaving a week or so after that lunch, maybe 10 days after that lunch, and she was going to be traveling with you and Rhonda, your sister Rhonda Schauscher, to Jordan on a mission trip with an organization called Hear Aid, what's now called Hear Aid. And she was talking to me about it and was getting me excited about it. And so we just reached out to you and said, Chris said, Gretchen wants to come too. Can she come? And you said yes.
It wasn't my place to say yes, but I did anyway.
So I roomed, there were no rooms left, all the accommodations were done. I found a plane ticket, but I stayed with Chris and Riley in their room and then joined this amazing trip and got to go to Jordan and Jerusalem and some other parts of the Middle East. It was incredibly interesting and rewarding. But the interesting thing is, this woman right here, we're in another country. Half of us don't speak the language. And so she and her sister Rhonda are just constantly going back and forth, managing the bus drivers, managing the hotel people, everywhere we're going, back and forth between English and Arabic, running the whole thing, but in the sweetest, kindest way. It was just such an amazing experience. I would just watch what she was doing half the time we were there because it was so masterful. The impact that she was having.
Back up a little bit. What?
Yes. So tell us about that. That was a very long-winded question, but it was with your sister and some others from another state. Your sister is an audiologist. Have founded this organization called Hear Aid. Can you tell us about that?
Right. Actually,
is it still called that?
Yes.
Okay.
Rhonda founded Hear Aid as a result of her wanting to give back to not just the international community, but the local community. So Hear Aid is a nonprofit that provides hearing assistance, which comes in the form of hearing aids, typically, for those who can't afford to get them themselves. Hearing aids are very expensive.
Yes.
So here in Toledo, if somebody can't afford a hearing aid, Rhonda will dispense them, Rhonda and her 501c3, and the only stipulation is that they have to give back to the community somehow. And then rooted in our, parents and where they came from, my mom being a refugee, losing her home, her father, her brother, we wanted to get to where we came from. And so we go to the Middle East quite a bit, the West Bank, and to Jordan primarily, and give hearing aids to people who will never be able to afford them. And they're typically for children so that they can get back to school. because in most countries where these children have disabilities, they get left behind.
Yeah.
And it's not just, it's most countries, because they don't have programs like we have here. And so it just changes the trajectory of what happens to them. They're able to get back to school. We primarily go to refugee camps. Hopefully they can get an education and get out of the refugee camp, right? And change that whole dynamic.
And it's also a court deliverable for safety. If you can't hear what's going on, you're not participating.
Right, exactly.
I've seen some videos online of, kids getting a hearing aid and hearing for the first time.
The hearing smile, they call it.
Oh,
Yeah, we got to see it firsthand. It's amazing.
If at the risk of putting you on the spot too, what are some of the common misconceptions of the Middle East for like your average Americans? You made mention of something I think and well articulated, that a lot of faiths are more alike than they are different. But as you're walking around hearing or just taking in the ether of everyday America, what are some of the things that is a misconception?
Well, you know them better than I do.
Because I'm an idiot?
No. Because maybe you naturally had misconceptions, not that I know of, but that you may have had because you heard it through the media or because it's, what's being told to you. The misconceptions are that, we're terrorists, we disruptors.
Hate mongers.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, I mean, you know what they are. And it's absolutely untrue. If you think about what's happening to the Palestinian people, you can look at them, they're not hateful. When you see the videos of them, they talk about their belief and faith in God, that God's going to get them through it. Most of us would have left.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, but their determination to stay there and keep their families there and be rooted in a country that was Palestine, it was there.
Do you still have family members there?
Yeah.
And
we do.
We had the opportunity on the trip to go into a family home.
My aunt's house.
Yes.
Yeah.
How rude was Gretchen?
She was actually very good. She helped with the dishes.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did do that.
Good for you, Gretchen.
Thank you.
You're an attorney.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, I mean, charity, philanthropy is such a big part of your community reputation. What's the commercial you would give to somebody who's, just starting their career, just thinking about, how they fit into this community, how they find their thing, and why they should, give until it hurts?
To the Metro Park specifically.
Let me scratch my head.
Yeah, come on, lady.
I love the Metro Parks. You know that. I think if you're going to be a full person and you want to feel the texture of the community where you live, you have to give back because I think it helps you understand people, philosophy. It helps you understand yourself. I think, Kevin, to your question, you have to participate where your heart feels like it's right. So, like when I've been on boards and you see people that are there, you can tell they're there because they want something.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Align yourself there. We have plenty of nonprofits in the community. There's going to be something that you can do, and if you don't have money, give your time.
That's what I was going to ask.
Give your talent. I mean, people say that talent, treasure, time, but it's really true. You need it all.
And that is something that I've gotten the good fortune to meet many parts of your family, and the financial portion of it is of real value. It's certainly an obvious statement, but showing up is an immense value, and your entire family shows up. And I'm sure that's something you're very proud of. Even Darren shows up.
What's something that you do that's just really dumb? Like if you're not
your choice of friends.
If you're not,
that would probably be.
If you're not working or volunteering your time or whatever, and you just have what's the downtime
this
thing?
This is a great question.
Just something that you don't want anybody to know that you actually do. What do you stream on?
What dumb thing do you watch on TV?
Two things.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I've been streaming lately. Like I liked to get to my bedroom a little bit earlier and watch something.
And why do you walk like that?
Is it something like Love Island level, or is it?
Well, right now I'm watching Industry, which sort of makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
And some of the things I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? You said two things.
Well, the other thing is, that stuff happens.
Yeah. All right.
Like, because you remember I'm older, right?
Yeah.
Well,
do you remember that you're older?
I do. Right? I still do.
Can I ask it at the risk of putting you on the spot? The first thing before I'd actually met you, I had heard people talk about you, and the way people say your name is very intentional. And so you're not Rita.
That's a good question.
You are Rita.
I'm only Rita because I grew up. Remember, my parents are immigrants. They have accents, and they said the T. That's the way I heard it. That's the way I say it. Back to Sue. My best friend calls me Rita. So you have to say what's comfortable for you, and I can tell when people are uncomfortable.
Oh, so you want us just to say it like Rita?
That's fine.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that because I like it the other way.
No, I think you live your life with intentionality, and I want to say your name with intentionality.
Right.
And so I don't have a problem with me being uncomfortable saying Rita. I'll take the T.
I've never asked that question. Yeah, that's interesting.
A lot of people ask me that.
It's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. I'm going to ask you 4 rapid-fire questions. Gretchen's asking for your favorite thing in the region, and Matt is going to walk you through 9 words to describe Toledo.
We'll do it. We got you.
I forgot to study.
Yeah, okay. Gretchen should have sent this to you.
She just said she forgot to study.
I was
Awesome.
working.
All right, well, this is not as hard as med school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Or finance.
Organic chemistry.
What is the one food you never understood why other people liked?
Pork.
Okay.
That's a
Good one.
kind of a way up there.
What's your favorite sounding word?
Pork.
Oh,
My favorite, I don't know.
That's 3 words.
That's a hard one.
My favorite sounding word is Gretchen.
Okay, good, perfect.
I like it. I like the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. What movie do you love?
Wall Street.
Oh my God.
Good movie.
And then how would you rather spend your weekend?
On the beach.
Yeah.
What is your number one most favorite or the thing that you would consider to be the best thing about the city of Toledo or the region?
People.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
It's you and me, lady. We're going to close it out.
Okay.
So 9 things to describe the city or region. I'm going to put people first. So you're already hot off the presses. Number 2.
Grit.
Grit. Love it. Go on.
Culture.
Culture. Love it.
She wasn't going to say Gretchen again.
Can you guys stop? It's my part of the show.
I'm sorry.
Innovation.
Innovation. Love it. The arts has got to be on there for you.
It is.
Yep. Arts.
What? Why?
We're almost home.
Oh, you're checking.
This is my system, ma'am. So if you could just answer the questions.
You said arts?
Yep.
Can I add culture?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right. Got 3 left.
If you're capable of adding culture, can you add it to Matt?
I actually, interestingly, can.
Okay.
That's right. She's a wizard.
Yeah.
Wizardry. We'll put that down for one of your words. You got 2 left.
I said innovation, grit, community, intentionality is true.
Absolutely. Got 1 left to close.
Leaders.
Nice.
Which, of course, you are one of.
No.
That wasn't the question I was telling you.
What's the next big event, big thing coming to Toledo that you're most excited about?
No. The next big thing coming, I'm really excited about the Arts Commission's new space downtown.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be open houses.
Coming up.
Right?
Yeah.
So people should go.
Where is it?
Right, the building right across the street from the library on
Yep.
Adams Street.
Used to be a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really cool.
It's an amazing new space for the
Yeah,
Arts
and I
Commission.
think they'll be able to do a lot of neat events and be very
And
open.
the mix is going to be in that building this year in May.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Awesome. Rita, thank you so much.
Thank you for being
You're
here.
welcome.
Rita Mansour, our guest today. Gretchen, nice job.
Thank
Nice
you.
job. You are a lawyer.
Lawyer of choice.
That's
All
right.
right, when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to be talking with Jessica Molina from La Prensa, one of the new hosts of the new show on WGTE, The Local Thread. We'll have that conversation when we come back on the other side of the 419.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at WitroAdvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And TARTA, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarta.com.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. There's great things happening at WGTE. Some new programs, not just the 419, but the local threads. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. The local threads, we're now joined by...
I already hurt Matt's feelings.
You did, and you can't recover from it.
I can't.
Jessica Molina from La Prensa,
yes.
One of the hosts of the local thread. We're talking about personal bubbles and personal space, and of course, we got tight confines here because there's a TV portion to what we're doing, and so you guys had to get up in each other's bubbles pretty early.
I don't sit this close to my guests, so I'm recognizing that my personal bubble is
being violated.
Well, we don't have the mansion layout that you guys have over at the common
layout.
thread. We just
It's
cobbled
local
this,
thread.
whatever the hell the show's called.
So let's talk about what is the local thread.
So the local thread is a collaboration of WGTE. La Prensa is a newspaper. We serve Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, and
Which one do you like serving better? You can be honest.
Oh,
You don't have to answer his questions.
all.
You love
I
it
love
all.
the wide range of it.
Yeah. But I would assume you like the Michigan because of the distance from you.
Oh, yes. It's outside of my personal bubble. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're
You're
opening up
catching on.
He's
Right?
never going to get over it.
We're opening
Yeah.
up a new Nova Scotia outlet. That's
Oh
a
my
different
gosh.
place.
It's been such a joy, honestly. It's a 13-week endeavor. What? Yeah. Is yours like forever?
Yeah,
6
it
months.
is.
Oh.
Or so.
Well,
Yeah.
that's on you guys.
Yeah, right.
We
We need to
legitimately,
negotiate our next contract.
Yeah.
legitimately, as we were in the planning phases for this show.
Planning is also generous.
Okay. So we're talking about it, and then WGTE is talking about their excitement for local threads and what they're
Yes.
going to do, and we are equally excited about it. And then we heard that you guys do 1 day a week and rotate through, and I'm like, wait a second.
And then they made us build your set.
Did you build your own?
No, we
yes, I
didn't.
did.
Because we actually don't have a set.
Because yours is just
You guys,
audio.
you guys are in the WGTE
Yes.
podcast studio.
Yes, we do have. It's video in that there's like a video staring right at you.
Yes, it's very
when you're-
close.
But they don't like film the whole thing. You know, Chris will pull shorts from it.
So tell us a little bit about your involvement with La Prensa. Were you working there first and then got asked to do the podcast? How did you become acquainted with or become part of the show?
I find myself filling spaces. So I knew Linda. I've known Linda for a while. And I write articles for La Prensa. And I think I was like her backup. I would think I was like her second or third.
Yeah.
The first few people like could not commit. So it worked out for me. And I think it worked out for Linda too, because it's been fun.
Have you ever done a show like that before or interviewed people before? Other than obviously for your print?
No, not like that before, but I'm a super organized person. I think
too.
Linda is too. Are you?
No.
I'm gathering that from your doodles on your page.
You don't know who those are.
Yeah. But
Close enough to make fun of that, I guess.
So we knew that we were going to have a process. Like we were super intentional about brainstorming. We had a planning phase, right?
Good.
Where we're thinking about like who in the community could we invite? There's so many people. It's 13 weeks. We're not going to get to everybody. You know, hopefully WGTE does another The Local Thread, and we can have another season.
People ask us if they think we're going to run out of guests, and I'm like, I'm sure they say the same thing to you, but there's no way. I mean, there's so
But that's
many
such an
people to
important
talk
thing
to.
to say, right? I mean, they're like, no, only in Toledo or Northwest Ohio, so they say we're going to run out of really interesting people. Like, no way.
Once we start, like, we didn't even have to dig that far.
Right.
We had.
Can you imagine if we had the two people that Linda would have preferred to you on the show today? It would have been great.
Oh my gosh, it wouldn't have been better than this.
As somebody who's done like broadcast and like,
You're so offended. Do you want me to scoot closer? Will that make you feel better?
I don't want your charity.
He can't recover. He just can't. It's not a possible thing.
I have made the joke to people before about
Your hair
like
looking good.
that's right. No, the Mud Hens. Like I've announced for the Mud Hens for years, and so they would call me, and I made the joke one time like, oh, everybody else you called said no, and they agreed. they were like, yeah, we've tried these other 5 people, and I was
Yeah.
like,
You're our last resort.
awesome. Thanks,
I
guys.
was
So I
totally
don't
the
recommend you
last.
actually drive down that road because sometimes it doesn't lead to where you want. Yeah.
I was the last resort, and
That's
it's
okay.
fine
But
because
you've
it
done
worked out
great.
great. It's been really fun. I think if Linda could do it all over again, I think she would choose me first.
She'd definitely choose you.
So
I think
what's one of the stories that you've told that you were most excited about?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. The one that came to mind when we were talking about like digging a little bit deeper and finding people in the community, Dr. Allende Bonifacio. He's a professor at UT. He is from New York. He immigrated to New York City though, and he has just such a wonderful story that he told. We as Latinos, and maybe it happens in other cultures too, I think we get into this argument of like who's more or less, right? Like, well, I immigrated here, well, I was born here, so you're less. Well, I speak the language, you don't, so who's more or less? And we really tease that apart with Dr. Allende Bonifacio, and it was so good.
What does he teach at the university?
That's a great question. I don't remember.
Science.
I know.
But this is, I mean, but like we do that on our show too, right? Where we dive into like the, I don't want to say the subculture, but like the sub story, the second story for an individual, and don't spend a whole lot of time. Like our conversation with Rita, we didn't talk a whole lot about what she does for a living. We spend all the time about what's important to her and what she loves.
I know that he's a historical literarian. Like he studies newspapers is one of his things, which is really interesting, but I don't know what his class is.
I do think, and just a slight commentary, it is an interesting social example of no matter who you are, where you're from, no matter how much shared, we do try to class each other, even amongst ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Greek, and I moved to Chicago, and my partners were all Greek, and the delineation between who was really Greek were those who spoke it, and those who didn't. So it's like the Sneetches, right, from Dr. Seuss, if you remember that book. Those that had stars on their bellies were the superior class, and then halfway through the book, those that don't have it are the superior. But we almost always want to up other people, even the ones that we are the closest. It's an unfortunate sign that we are maybe not that evolved of a species.
We're talking with Jessica Molina from La Prensa. What has the local threads, what has this program done for La Prensa?
You know, I think it's opened up the audience, right? We don't typically serve, we're a newspaper, we're out in the community. A lot of, you go through the South Side, any nonprofit, you'll see it everywhere. But the viewers who are listening to the radio at 7 p.m., we might not be grabbing those listeners or those viewers. And so our hope has been, our people are in the news a lot right now, and maybe not always for the greatest reasons. And so our hope has been, let's broaden our viewership. Let's be able to tell our stories, significant, the highs, the lows, the challenges, to that viewership, but also like how you're saying, like also within the community. Sure. We're so diverse, and that's okay. Yes. And let's like embrace that about each other. And so I'm thinking about, we had one episode on mental health, for example, and oh dear Kevin, our co-host Kevin, he opens the show by telling the therapist that he doesn't believe in mental health. And my jaw just dropped. I'm like, how are you saying that to the therapist right now? But that's so true about our culture.
It is.
Gretchen's a flat earther. And it was almost the entire.
Gosh.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you embrace that about her, right?
We don't know what to do with it.
They embrace it.
Yeah. Journalism is in your background. It's in your folks' background. How did you get to who you are today?
To some extent, it's in my background. Like I like to talk about, I was the editor of my high school newspaper, co-editor. So
who was the better editor, you or the other person?
Oh, she was so good. we were a great team.
Where'd you go to high school?
Eastwood.
Okay.
So it's in the area. And then I've just always loved writing.
Okay.
So I have a master's. I did my thesis on a program here in Toledo, and
what was the program?
The Latino Youth Summit.
Okay.
Out of the University of Toledo. It was a programmatic evaluation, so like how well are they doing? And I always find myself writing for fun.
Yeah.
Do you work for La Prensa as a full-time job, or do you have a day job that you also do?
I'm a consultant. I'm an educational consultant, so I pick up projects with different organizations, school systems. La Prensa is volunteer work, so that's kind of what I mean when I'm filling in spaces. So I was like, yeah, Linda, I'll help you out, and then did not realize that it would be the big project that it is today.
I'm sure.
Why is that important to you? Why is storytelling within your community important to where you're volunteering?
Yeah, it's important because kind of like we were talking about before, I think the acceptance of one another is really important, especially right now because we are in the news. There isn't always a welcoming environment with various populations. I know you guys were just talking about immigration and refugees with Rita, and that's like the highlight of what's in the media of our community right now. And it's important to get out their stories. We had a story of a woman who traveled back to her home country because her mom had passed away. And she was in a certain part of her paperwork where she wasn't supposed to leave the country. And she said, I'm going home. Your mom passed. How do you not go back? And so she almost lost her citizenship because of that. But thankfully, she had an encounter with a nice immigration officer who was able to help her through that.
Unbelievable.
We're talking with Jessica Molina from La Prensa and the local threads here on WGTE. Do you know the URL where people can get the local threads? WGTE.org/
La Prensa Habla.
Awesome. La Prensa Habla. Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you being on the
Jessica.
program. When we come back, we will wrap up this Friday edition of the 419.
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management. Another exciting show. Great job with your guest today.
Thank you. Yes, Rita, I just admire her. I admire her so much. She's just a great Toledoan. But I wanted to mention that you're using the Kroger's thing that so many people say locally about Kroger, because it's not the threads, it's the thread.
Local thread.
Yes, I do like to be.
After that treatment, I don't care what we call it.
The thread, local thread.
Local thread.
Yes.
Yeah, I get S on the end of my name all the time, and I tell people, like, get to know me and you'll know you don't want to. You do not want to make that plural. Of course, all of these programs are available on the new WGTE app as well. You got to download that and check it out. Chance to enjoy all of this show, but also our friends over at the Local Thread. Thanks to Jessica Molina from La Prensa for being on.
Nothing.
You're
still
shut
pouting.
down.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you were really in somebody's bubble?
I don't know. Years.
It was actually just a few minutes ago.
Years, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. If you missed any part of the program, 3 opportunities every day to enjoy it. 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91 in Toledo, Bryan, Defiance, and Lima, and 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects channel 30.4. Of course, online, WGTE.org/the419. Not the 419s.
Nines, no.
There's only one 9 there. All right.
9 times.
Thank you so much to our guests, and thanks to you for joining us here on the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Witro Wealth Management.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.